So I guess I'm recording. I don't even know. Uh, yeah, I want to talk about this Charleena Lyles story. Now, apparently, I've opened up two different articles here, and this one is more updated, but it's basically making her look really bad. And of course, it's what they do in the media. They make black people look really bad. I don't know about other people because I really don't read about their stories. But I'm also going to talk about the police shootings, the database that the Washington Post has put up, and I'm pretty sure they have a link that you can go to the actual database of the shootings that they have used excessive force on regular people, everyday people, and a lot of it has been used towards people that have mental illness. And apparently, these police are not being trained on how to deal with people with mental illnesses because Charlene Lyles supposedly had a mental illness, and having all those children did not help. And whoever these guys were that were impregnating her, one or two or however many, because she supposedly had three other children and she was pregnant with the fourth at the time when she got killed. So yeah, I don't understand why people keep taking advantage of these women like this. Men, that are taking advantage of women that are mentally ill. Stop it. And women who are mentally ill, please go get some help. Family members, please help these people. It's really sad because I'm coming from a different perspective. I'm not just going to be blaming the cops per se. I also blame the people that was around Charleena Lyles for not helping her. And maybe they did try to help her. But anyway, they're still talking about what happened to her. And it's just ridiculous. This is another killing that didn't have to take place. And apparently, I'm just going to read a little bit. Police Detective Mark Jameson said officers were alerted to a hazard information in the system after a previous encounter with a woman, which promoted a two-officer response Sunday morning when she called to report an attempted burglary in her fourth floor until Brettler family apartments. I can't read right now. Officers were confronted by a 30-year-old woman armed with a knife. And that's another thing, never bring a knife to a gunfight, but I know that's not funny. The department wrote on its web blotter. Both police officers fired their duty weapons, striking the woman, which they didn't have to do that. Like, what happened to a taser? Like, what are they learning at police academy? Apparently nothing. There were several children inside the apartment at the time of the shooting, but they were not injured, thank the Lord. The department said they were being cared for by other family members at this time, and I'm not going to even play that. Family members said that the children were two boys and a girl, ages 11, 4, and 1. Seattle Mayor Ed Murray, in a statement Sunday afternoon, called the incident a tragedy for all involved. My thoughts are with the many people impacted, including 3 children and the responding officers, he said. I don't even understand why that, because if they would teach them techniques on how to disarm someone, because we don't know what size knife she had. I don't know if she had a butter knife, a steak knife, or a butcher knife, but cops are being trained to protect themselves. And so people, even though they're supposed to be protecting and serving the people of the community, it's become out of hand, and especially towards black people or any other ethnicity. Because when I show y'all the police shootings and the number that has been, gone up ever since 2015, the race is all over the place. There's white people. Of course, they try to make it look like the white people are getting killed more by police than blacks, because that's what I've seen. But of course, the other and the unknown, because they don't know what race they are, supposedly, according to the article or the database, they put those in as like they're not really sure the race or whatever. And it could be black people. So it could be a higher number of black people being killed than whites by cops. But either here nor there. But anyway, let me get back to this. Murray and Police Chief Kathleen O'Toole said that the shooting will be reviewed by the department's Force Investigation Team in the Office of Professional Accountability. The King County Prosecutor's Office also will review the incident and likely call for the coroner's request. Um, Now, they said there was another incident by her sister saying that Charlena had, June 5th, was arrested because there was a domestic dispute between her and her boyfriend, and she supposedly was running around with scissors when the officers got there. So this is not the first incident they've been called out to her house for. And apparently, because of her mental illness, um, they, I guess, decided to take excessive force. Like I said, they could have used a taser. Um, Either way, it still would have been detrimental to her and her child that she was carrying. But this is just ridiculous. This keeps going on, especially with black people. I mean, they said she suffered from mental illness, mental health issues for the last year, the past year, and the family had tried to help her. So they did try to help her. Apparently, he said, this is her brother. He said care of the 4-year-old girl and Down syndrome required Lyles around the clock attention, and that's a lot because she had children that had special needs, at least one of them. So it was a lot on her, and then her getting pregnant so many times, having so many kids, chemical imbalance in her. She probably went through postpartum depression, but she probably didn't have a whole lot of help. They say that they helped her family did, but who's to say? She might have been very combative towards them, and the family's not happy about this. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to sue, but just like all the other families of black people that were slain by officers, they'll probably try to pay them off. It's ridiculous, but it's just the way they made her look. I don't think this is the one that they made her look. Let's see. Okay, so family members said that she was several months pregnant and had been struggling with mental health issues for the past year. They said she was concerned authorities would take her children, one of whom they said had Down syndrome. Now, this is not the one. You go to this one. This one's the one that I didn't really like the way they wrote it. And this is how people, I think this is the updated one, updated June 21st, which is today. And they basically were saying that the two police officers who fatally shot Charleena Lyles in Seattle on Sunday had been identified as Stephen McNew and Jason Anderson, who both worked in the North Precinct. McNew, 34, was hired by the Seattle Police Department in February 2008, which they'll probably both get off. They're not really saying if they're white or black or what race they are. Department spokesman Sean Whitcomb said late Tuesday Anderson, 32, was hired in April 2015. Both remain on paid administrative leave. Of course, they're black. They probably wouldn't be paid. They'd probably be on administrative leave, but yeah, they'd be going straight to prison if they were black. But see, I don't think they really care that black people kill each other. That's less work for them. For the Caucasoid people, whatever you call them, Caucasoid, white folks, whatever. Um, Both officers had undergone crisis intervention training, supposedly, and one was certified in CIT officer, which means he had undergone additional intensive de-escalation and mental health intervention training, supposedly. But when they got there, they apparently were scared of her, and they still decided to. There's some kind of police alert on my phone because people are always around here. There's a lot of Amber Alerts where I live. I don't know about anywhere else, but they alert us on our phones, of course. That's what they do to everybody's phones. But yeah, this happened Sunday, this burglary report, and they probably thought that she was the burglar, especially when they showed up and she had a knife in her hand because previously they had arrested her on June the 5th for having sitting on her couch, I believe, when they arrived, and she had a scissors. So they fear for their lives, and that's just what's going on. Now I'm going to go to the police shootings, Washington Post, and this is crazy. The excessive force has been used. Of course, they're saying right now, I think this is more recent right here, 963 people have been shot, and I'm pretty sure out of those, for 2006, let's see, it's probably about 800 of them being black people. But of course, according to this database, they're not going to show that. It takes my stuff forever to open up. Okay, so this is ridiculous. Um, and they're basically down here on this page. They're showing people, individually that got killed. I don't think they're really putting their names up here, which is, if you want to know specific names or whatever, if you know people that have been killed by the cops, you can actually search their names right here. But they go by state and how many has been killed by police in the state, gender, females 19, males 431, and unknown is 2. Race, of course, they're going to say white people 206 was killed in 2017, more so than the 112 blacks. And of course, Hispanics, and then they have other 16, and unknown is 36, which doesn't make any sense because those could be black people, but they're making, according to this data, they're making the white people look like they're killed more by cops. Maybe they are. I don't know. Then they talk about mental illness, so they break it down in categories and tell you how they kill. Mental illness. Apparently, they're not being trained in that specific training that they were saying that one of these cops was trained in that killed Charleena Lyles. And apparently, he didn't take it serious, or he forgot everything. Everything went out the window when they both shot at her. So, I mean, she had a knife. But how much damage could she have done? But so the recording, they didn't have any audio with it. Whatever the body cam was, or whatever it was on the cops when they broke into her house or whatever, pushed, probably, shot her. They didn't really show, of course, her being shot. And I'm pretty sure somebody will put that up on YouTube, or if they've already done it. But they're talking about the weapons that were used against the police. Unarmed, 28 people were shot. I think that's 28 people. They got toy weapons, other unknown 17 guns that were, shot at the police or whatever, or aimed at the police. Of course, they're going to shoot back. Just like Corinne Gaines, she had the gun in her hand apparently, and she shot at the police. I don't know if she actually shot at the police. I don't remember. But apparently they thought they were being threatened, so they ended up shooting her. And body cam, we don't even know half the time the body cams are on, because a lot of them are not on. I think they turn them off on purpose so they won't be in trouble for their actions. So say body cam was 45 for some of these people, and unknown 407. It's more unknown than there is, yes, the body cam being on. So that's pretty bad. Fleeing the scene, they talk about the cars fleeing the scene, 75. People running from the cops, 49. Other, they don't know what that is, not fleeing, to 69. That's higher. Undetermined, 37. So yeah, this is ridiculous. So in 2017, 452 people have been fatally shot and killed by the police. So fatally shot and killed is the same thing. In 2006, let's see how many were killed in 2006. 16, I mean, not 6. 958. So there was more people shot, but the number is rising already. And this is ridiculous. Like, we're supposed to be scared. We're more scared of the cops now, and they're scared of us. So it's basically a war against the cops, and the cops will war against the people. And this is ridiculous. It shouldn't be that way. 991 people were shot in 2015. So if you tally that up, I mean, this is ridiculous. How many people have been shot by the cops? And a lot of them have been, it's been unarmed situations because the cops didn't know how to handle them, and they didn't know not to use excessive force. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This is ridiculous, and this keeps happening. So I don't know. I don't know. But we need to get justice for our black people constantly being shot down in the streets or shot at their homes. You know, it Police should not, if you're calling the police to respond to something that is going on wrong at your home and you know it's not right, why are they shooting you? Why are they killing you like you don't belong there? And that's what it seems like. They're just trying to get rid of all of us. So rest in heaven, Charleena Lyles and all those who have been slain by the cops this past year. 'Cause it doesn't seem like it's going to be getting any better. And all the marching and protesting, I'm not sure if that's really helping. It may have helped back in the civil rights era. It got us some freedoms, but we're still dealing with segregation and racism at its highest. It's even worse now. So, President Trump, he's not my president, but President Trump, didn't. Maybe he encouraged this. He encouraged the racism just for people to be more out there, but he didn't start it because it's already been going on for years. So y'all let me know what y'all think.